All right, let's talk about the irons and some of the other last minute supplies that I use. I used to use this all the time, and this is a heat seal iron, and it had a nice dial on it, and I could dial to the heat setting, and usually it was about 3.5, and that was like 200, and it says 280 degrees. So that lets you know how hot this is, but it regulates itself. And then during COVID, what had happened is that things weren't being shipped over, and companies that I purchased from here in the States didn't have it. And so then now if you find one online somewhere, you know, you're lucky. But I really did like to use this in my tacking of the collage papers that are coated with the gloss. So this is now no more. So then this has always been something that you can use as your regular house iron, and I like to just put it on a cotton setting and no water, no steam on there, and that works. And then I just found this brand right here, excuse me, and I got this at our local Joann Fabrics, you know, and it has a nice silicone base that you can set it on. I had to get used to the change of this versus this, you know, but it works really good. It just has 3 settings. I usually keep it at the middle setting, and it seems to work just fine. I don't use the steam, but this is made for arts and crafts, okay? And it's got a nice, nice plate that's right there. But with all of these irons, what I also use is parchment paper, and that goes in between the collage papers and the iron. And I'm not going to open this up right now, but you do need this because you need the heat to go through the paper and to the collage papers that are coated, so then it fuses together. So that I have a stock on that. What I use often, and I think I did talk a little bit about this, but I use baby wipes. These are no special brand. I get them at our local Aldi's, but it says it's compared to Huggies. Sometimes they have alcohol in them. This has just got mostly water in it, but it's a moist rag-like item that you can use to dip a little bit, touch a little bit of the color and blend it in on things, or to wipe off something that you would want to take off the surface really quick. And paper towels, I use those up too. And they used to, you know, this is the size that it comes in, but you notice I like to use this size like this too and bring it in. It fits in better in traveling, and then also on the table because it's not as high and I always knock it over. So what I've done here is I've taken an electric knife and then I've cut this. It has a little bit of a frayed effect, and you just kind of wipe that off and toss that a little bit. But this makes it a lot easier to use. You get smaller little sections because you don't need to have a lot there. So I do that for myself, I found helpful. And then the last thing is some of these tapes that I use to tape off the edge. This used to be the tape that I would get all the time, and this was by 3M Scotch, and it was number 3051, and it is no more. I can't get this anymore, and it's low-tack paper tape, and I like it because it was white, and the color is not deterring from what I'm creating. But anytime that I want to tape off the edge of a watercolor paper, I've found these to be frog tape, and here's a purple one by Scotch, and it is a delicate. That's what I need, is a delicate. And this is a painter's tape too, and it's a delicate tape. So I use those, and I'm just showing different brands. And then your regular painter's tape, I like to use the full strength for the sides of my wood panels. If I, you know, I don't want to get those all mucked up, you know, with paint and stuff like that. So when I take them out of the plastic that it's wrapped in, right away I tape the sides off until I decide if I want to paint them or just give them a clear coat of a medium, you know, gloss or varnish on top of there. So these are just some last minute things that I thought maybe to share with you, some of the other supplies that I work with. Alrighty, the last thing that I wanted to share is I like to use the newspaper for when I'm coating the paper. So I like to save a nice bundle of newspapers. So what I do is I take the newspaper and I just kind of cut it like this, if I'm working with smaller papers. And I kind of make a booklet of them. And then I can lay my paper on here. I can coat it with the gloss medium. And if this gets mucked up, then what I can do is just turn the page and I have a clear page to work with. So it's good to kind of take a little stock in, you know, some newspapers. If you know somebody who has newspapers, you know, ask them to save them for you. Because lately they've been hard to come by because we're all getting our information on the internet. But, you know, if you find them, it's good to have them as something to, a surface to have underneath there so things don't get all coated with the gloss when you're coating. Alrighty, I think that shares some of the basics that I work with. But you can always add a little bit more or take out, so...